wanted I wanted like a modern version of Ghost Riders in the Sky about Marines or something like that, and but sung in the tone of Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
and then done. Dude, I went like down a rabbit hole. It was
Yeah.
so much fun. That is a cool thing to mess around with.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I did too because I was doing a couple. I did two of them. I did one for each of my two dogs because that last Saturday when I stayed home and we were watching, I was watching movies with the girls all day, and I did. They were like saying shit. They were like talking about the dogs. So I ran into Chat GPT. Like they were talking about because it was stupid shit. My little Chihuahua, we were eating pizza, and I gave her a pizza crust, and it was like bigger than her head, and she was just sat there for like 2.5 hours through like more than two movies or more than a movie, fucking guarding this pizza crust that she couldn't eat because it was too big, keeping it away from all the other dogs. And so it started to become a thing with me and the girls and my wife. And so I like ran in my room real quick. I had Chat GPT make a song about a dog called Seven that loves her pizza crust. And like I was doing it just to entertain the girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wrote one for my other fucking dog about him being like fat and dumb, but a good boy.
It's
Like,
incredible how
it was fun.
It makes a thing. It'd be like, he was such a good boy, but he was really fat, and then like it'll make like this, like, yep.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I had fun with it. So yeah, the same thing. I was just going to Chat GPT and be like, write me a rock song about this, and it would write the song, and then I'd take it over to Suno and drop it in there and give it like, I want it this or that or whatever kind of, style. And then it would just write the fucking shit up. And I was like, play it. It was addictive. It was addictive.
Yes, it is addicting.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this
Like I'm already like over 100 songs in.
Yeah. It's fun, man. I was having fun with it. But anyway, we're live, by the way. I didn't do my intro for everybody out there in YouTube land because we were just sitting here talking about shit, and I was like, fuck it, whatever.
So excited about tonight, about talking about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Is there anything just straight honesty here. I've not been paying attention to politics the last couple weeks that much. And it's primarily just because every time I do, it's the same, like, two things, It's either Trump or tariffs. And I just don't care anymore. So I don't really have anything to talk about as far as politics go tonight.
Nope.
I do want to talk gun stuff. You're like, I was getting like, we haven't had like really good gun conversations on the show for a while. I tell you what, I was having fun today talking guns with you and Cliff. Oh my God, I was giving him so much shit today.
Well, what you need is the best part about stuff like that is that, like, you and I have talked about pretty much all we could talk about for guns, unless we're talking about a new subject. Like,
yes,
like I want to talk about this week's, when you're ready, Last of Us and the gun review. So we like, that's what's fun.
That's what I needed to look up.
You can look it up. We can go through it. You should scroll through all of them. But when you have someone new, like we have a couple new guys in our lives. That sounds weird, but like,
oh new man.
Yeah, no, they bring in new perspectives and new ideas, and then you have to. That's the fun part, is when you're talking with new folks about things, and the importance of staying away from Turkish-made shotguns.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of like how basic but good Maverick 88s can be for your collection when you're looking, And then I do have something that's new. Once we talk about because like if you're fighting those kind of, so okay, what's your 3-gun loadout in a 2 or 3 gun? I'm gonna tell you get 2 guns, but you have 3 guns at your house, but you can only take 2 at a time. What are you going to have if it's The Last of Us? What are you carrying? Because I'll tell you, it's different from what I'm carrying, what I would carry now, or what my normal SHTF would be. So what are you carrying?
Ooh.
Because I'll tell you easy. Like, it's going to be a 100%. It's going to be a Glock 21. Because I want something. I don't want 9mm. I want something a little bit larger than a 9mm. And I would love to have a Glock 21. And then I'm probably for like I want a shotgun. There's zero chance I want an AR. I want like an 870 or a Remington 500 at least.
Well,
Where are you at?
it depends on what you're primarily worried about. Like, okay, so if you're anticipating a situation where you're going to deal with a lot of people, I still want the AR-15 with me.
For the people,
For the
not
people,
the zombies, right?
not the fungus zombie things from Last of Us. Because yes, you're right. For the fungus zombies, I'd want a 12 gauge. I'd want a 12 gauge, either Mossberg 500 or well, no. You know what? Fuck a Remington. Mossberg 500 is my favorite shotgun. Although I love Remington 870s, I just don't like their loading gate. That's my issue. I don't like their loading gate.
I agree.
I wish they had an open loading gate like the Mossberg does. Although you can swap them out, it's not a big deal. But stock, I like the Mossberg 500s better. Because like as I was rewatching the last season of Last of Us, like I wouldn't have wanted to be in that hospital scene with a shotgun. You know what I mean? Where he goes through to save her.
Okay. I'm thinking more of infected than AR.
Yeah.
I guess.
And as far as infected goes, you're right. I would want a 12 gauge. But that depends though, because like that scene from season 1 where all those fuckers came out of the ground. I want more than just the 6 to 8 rounds in a pump action.
Yeah, I guess my 3 guns would be an AR, a really good shotgun, and a really good pistol. I think I want something heavier than a 9mm because you're not fighting humanoid anymore, and sometimes you have to break that like hard shell barrier of their faces, and that's why I would pick 45. But I just
By the way, fuck YouTube that I can't just show guns anymore.
Oh,
Did you see my Glock 21 when you came over?
No.
I didn't show you my Glock 21. I know I showed you the Model 10 because I wanted to rub it in your face, but
Oh yeah, it had to do that.
But we got to go to the range because we were just talking about like the judge today.
Oh yeah.
And the Glock 21. But anyway, it's a Gen 2 Glock 21. I love that fucking gun. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, because like, okay, so the way I've got my Glock 21 set up, it's 16 rounds. So it's the 13 plus 2 plus 1 in the chamber. That's decent. 16 rounds of 45. Like, right. I'm good with that. You know what I mean?
Right. That's my loadout changes just a tad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe I guess you're still, to be honest, you're still going to want to pack really, really light because moving around and running away is going to be an answer in this scenario. So, but yeah.
Well, staying mobile as possible and the ability to go mobile at any given second is, dude, I mean, honestly, that's important in any SHTF situation, right? Like, we get invaded, fucking civil war, fucking economic collapse, like whatever. You're gonna want to be able to move quickly in any scenario, any situation, like across the board. You know what I mean? So
Well,
I
that's
don't know. That puts a damper on my whole like stockpiling ammo, but I still insist that like as
Right.
long
it is the killer of your mindset that you need a Connex box like Hawkins did in Jericho, because you really just need 2 really good guns, because that's all you're going to carry.
yeah,
You use some really good night vision and the ability to get out of your area, where I have a plethora of guns and ammo and stockpiles, and like if I need to move, I'm still grabbing one backpack, and everything else has been for what? So that's my concern.
yeah. It does add credence to your 22 theory.
It does, but in the end,
I still wouldn't want to be stuck with 22 only.
that chance of me walking around with a 22 in the Last of Us. Right?
Yeah. I just like, I can't see myself in like, okay, pick your bad situation. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. And looking at all my guns and going, I'm definitely taking the 22. You know what I mean?
Well, a year or two into it, yes. But
Maybe.
Beginning, but like, I would agree with you. It would have to be so far into the apocalypse where I've only got 22 left.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you would, for me to leave my dwelling, it would have to be so bad, so far gone. But then again, like, I don't know, because there's so many scenarios you play out. And they'll I guess not to jump too crazy, but like, the most reasonable scenario is a slow breakdown that then inevitably gets to a point where they're going door to door taking resources.
Yeah.
Because that's, I see a scenario where things get so bad for so long, but there's still a semblance of order, and they're like, bad stuff is going on. It's really bad in some areas, it's not so bad in others, but there's going to be someone in charge that comes by your house and says, okay, what do you have? Because we're taking half of it. Like, I just,
all of it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it comes by force or by reasonable means. I don't know. Those are always, I don't know. We'll see. Well, okay. What did you got the guns pulled up for the review?
Oh, yeah. I mean, share screen. Oh, and while I'm doing that, Tarkated dropping a super chat says zombies of any kind, PCC and pistol subs with cans. I mean, yeah, and it's going to be way easier, even to even in a in a regardless of the situation, whether it's legit or not, or you're making your own cans, it's going to be way easier to put
if you're
a
new
can
here,
or
let's just check.
okay, stop that. To even make a can that's going to work better with a fucking pistol caliber. So, I mean, yeah. Remember the season 3? Yeah, season 3 Maglite.
Oh my gosh. Season
Suppressor.
3, episode 1, Maglite suppressor, and then like a baseball bat.
It was an aluminum baseball bat. Yeah. They cut off a chunk of aluminum baseball bat. Dude, I bet you could make that work.
I mean,
you could make that work.
I've seen a lot of stuff done, and I agree that you could make a lot of stuff work. I remember that was the opening episode, or opening scene of episode 3, and I don't know about you, but it wasn't super long, but that felt like forever to get to season 3 for me, and I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
The prison was coming. We knew the prison was there, so.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me, I saw, what was it? I can't remember where I saw it because I wish I could look it up again. It was probably on like the firearms blog or something. And it was a a guy who had made a wooden suppressor. And he made it by just cutting at home, just panels, just little slots that he then ran 4 long, thin bolts through. On each of the way was square when it, cut
Yeah.
little square chunks, and cut the holes of different sizes throughout the thing to simulate a suppressor, and then bolted it together, and actually got approval on it from the ATF to make this thing so that he wouldn't get in trouble. And it was cool. It was just one of those things, like, you can, the idea, let's be honest here, the idea of a suppressor is not complicated, like, as far as what it does and how to put one together, how to make one. If we're in a grid down situation, nobody's talking about making one fucking and breaking the law or anything. Okay, ATF or whoever's listening right now. But suppressors are simple little devices. They're not complicated. The most complicated part of a suppressor, honestly, is if you're like trying to make one, is getting it to attach to the gun and line up properly.
Well, and
You're not blowing rounds out the side or something like that.
I wish the stigma wasn't around, because what are you doing? Oh, you're protecting your hearing and you're not making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Like the thought, like this whole, conspiracy that it's gonna, we're gonna just be shooting randomly at people, and it hides the butt. Like, it's just Hollywood babble that it's a scary.
Yeah.
It's not scary. It's actually
not a scary thing. It's also, again, as we're talking about here, and for anybody that understands how a suppressor works, it's not difficult to manufacture one. Okay. If you look at some of the stuff that people have made and manufactured on their own, like, if it was a problem that a suppressor, this goes for SBRs and full auto and all these other things. If there was a problem with these guns specifically being more dangerous and or more likely to be used in crimes, it would already exist, because these are not difficult things to accomplish. It is not difficult to make a suppressor. It is not difficult to have an SBR. It is not difficult to make something full auto if you want to do it. If these were issues where, like, oh yeah, there's, we really need to tamp down on this because it adds to crime, it would already be an issue. It would already be an issue. People would already be doing it. Criminals would already be doing it anyway, in mass.
I wonder what the statistics are of any suppressors being used in crimes.
I've tried to look up NFA items or illegal NFA items used in crimes. I tried looking this up before, and FBI, which is usually the main source to go for like gun crimes and stuff, does not keep records of that as far as gun crime goes. So all records concerning that are, when I looked it up, this was a few years ago, are held by the ATF, because whenever something that is supposed to be an NFA item is used in any sort of, in something that results in an investigation, the ATF is supposed to be notified about that. It's not something necessarily, unless you go to the level of, like, if a police report was made and if the police who made the report recorded, oh, we found a homemade suppressor or whatever the fuck, right? And they put it in the report. But there's no real way, without going to every police force in the country and, going through every report of every gun crime to try and figure out how much of that's used, right? There's no way, there's no place outside of the ATF where that information is gathered. And the ATF would only have that information if the police actually reported it to them, which they're supposed to. But whatever information the ATF does have, they don't release the same way the FBI releases crime statistics.
Right, and I would garner to say, just because I think, switches are really easy to get now and print and get made, and so a lot of people have them. But if you were to take away that, I guarantee the amount of crime done with legitimate full auto guns and suppressors has got to be close to 0%. I just don't think it's a lot of crime. I don't think it is.
I would be willing to bet my left nut it accounts for almost no crime.
Yep.
Comparatively speaking.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they're not gonna and that they don't, but they're not gonna release that information. Why would they release information that goes against the narrative, you know,
Right.
of why they have to do what they have to do? You know.
Scary thing, like, have you seen a suppressor? It makes the gun twice as big. Watch out, a pistol.
Yeah, it does make sense. Like, well, yeah, especially on a pistol, more so than anything else, right? Like, yeah, I mean, they do make some smaller suppressors. They're way more expensive, and they don't work as well. But even then, you're adding, you know, probably at least 5 inches to the end of the gun, 4 to 5 inches, even on those little mini ones, those little mini cans that they make, that again don't work as well, because how can they? So yeah, it's stupid. It really is. It does not contribute to crime in any meaningful way, and it's just another restriction for no reason, because somebody said they were scary, 90 something years ago now at this point. You know what I mean? And so we have to ban it. Just like, again, short barreled, SBRs, right? Oh, they're more dangerous. Okay. Well, no, not really. I don't know. I mean, I get the fear at the time, because, just like we do today, they dealt with fear mongering, in newspapers and whatever other, media they had. And, there was legitimately like high crime rates because of, almost all because of prohibition. They kind of brought it on themselves with that shit. But, that's, who would have thought? You go and ban something and shit gets way fucking worse. But,
and if you look, I know we were talking about it earlier, but you look at the statistics, drinking is way down for Gen Z.
Oh yeah,
it's down like 40%.
Yeah,
40% of less young people are even like regularly drinking, just because of the negative implications and health effects. And people can do what they want to do, fine with that. I'm not saying that it should be a government thing, but I'm just saying, like, people figured out, like, I want to drink alcohol. A lot of them, you know what I mean?
I don't know why. Because my son, like, he doesn't drink. He's never. I mean, he may have drank a couple of times in his life. You know what I mean? But he doesn't drink, and neither do any of his friends.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, huh. And I've never really gotten into it with him. Like, tell me, why don't you know what I mean? Like, why don't you and your friends drink? Like, so I don't really care. I'm like, good. That's probably a really good thing.
Yeah. Like,
kids these
great.
days,
so cool.
They don't want to drink or smoke cigarettes. What the hell is wrong with them?
I know, like, but I mean, like, that's a positive thing. I mean,
But no, it's weird. It's true, but it's weird. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when I was a kid, back in the 90s, when I was a teenager and shit, I mean, I wanted to drink and smoke. Like, that's what I wanted to do.
Mad Dog.
And I did. Oh my God! Do you know how many times I almost died because of Mad Dog? But you still not drinking it,
right?
So, it's $2.50 for this whole bottle of fucking Mad Dog that tastes like nasty ass fucking Kool-Aid or whatever the fuck they put in that shit. I don't know what flavors were what, but I always bought the blue one, which
yes,
the blue, because the blue one tasted the most like fruit punch.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really ass nasty fruit punch, but it still tasted better than all the rest of the fucking, we'll call them flavors, But Yeah, I don't know. Kids nowadays, son's in his 20s, but
They like the vape. More into the vaping stuff.
yeah, I guess. I'm not, I don't know. Weird, just from my perspective. Good, definitely good, but
Yep.
odd. The even like the whole driving thing, right?
Oh, that's weird too. They don't want to drive.
Yeah,
Driver's license.
yeah. Like
So-
my son drives and everything, but I remember when he turned 16, it wasn't like with me, dude. I was, I turned 15. I was like, okay, I'm going to driver's ed now.
Yep.
I'm getting prepped. I'm getting ready. The minute I fucking turned 16, I'm getting my license. I was already saving for a car, like all that shit. And when my son turned, 15, 16, whatever, he was like, oh, yeah, I'll get one. Yeah, it's fine. And I was like, because I mean, for me, it was freedom, right? To be able to drive and to get out of the house and go where you wanted without having to have somebody drive you, which you dealt with your entire life as a kid. That was a little chunk of freedom that you had.
What's the first song that played in the car when you drove alone?
Oh God, I have no idea. I don't know. Why? Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I do feel weird about it now. Like it's a stupid thing to remember. I don't remember mine either. I'm cool. Never mind. No.
I
Stroke
remember
it when
that.
you spot it, but don't stroke so fast.
Was it Britney Spears' "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time"?
No, it was Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I just was happy.
Jeremiah, what fucking station were you listening to?
I had CD player and I put it in. I thought it was cool.
Because this would have been what, 2002?
Like
Golden oldies.
2004.
Like, when did you turn 16? It would have been in the early 2000s, right?
2004.
2004, yeah. And you were listening to Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog?
I don't know. I can't really remember. I gotta go. I'll see you in a minute.
Oh, shit.
2004, I was 20. Like, what was it? 21? Like,
Well, you're what? You're 84?
83.
83, okay. Yeah, so you'd been 21.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Well, I was in the same bracket as Matt, so what was popular songs when we were getting our license?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I would have been listening to either,
I probably was listening to something either Ozzy or AC/DC.
it would have been, what was that? It was 16 and 90, was that 92 or 93? Wait. 93? 92, 93? Something like that. So I would have been listening either to, well, it was, yeah. It would have probably been some sort of
This is a
Maybe-
Marky Mark.
early grunge rock, or it could have been like rap or R&B. What are
I
the
grew up
most
with-
likely choices?
I grew up in a small rural town, so at that time we were just now getting like 80s rock.
Some CNC Music Factory.
I was listening to like the Black
Dude,
Sabbath.
there's a good chance it was some CNC Music Factory.
CCR, yes, I wouldn't doubt it.
Gonna make you sweat, baby.
My high school graduation song was Freebird.
Freebird.
Yes.
That was
They had to
right.
turn it off because they didn't realize how long the damn thing was. That's the reason why everybody picked it, because it's fucking long.
Oh my gosh! You know what I hated was we chose "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye." And I
Boys
was-
to Men.
I was like, yeah, no, it's not hard to say goodbye. I hate half of you, and the other half I don't know. It's not hard to say goodbye. Like, I don't.
I was one of the outliers voting for graduation song. I voted for Stone Free from Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, we tried to get Flash Gordon. We got like Yeah,
Oh,
Around
Hey,
my
man.
time, it was I Believe I Can Fly.
oh,
Yes.
I believe.
I didn't know that was R. Kelly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Seal was big back in the early '90s.
yeah. Well, because
Well,
yeah,
like,
Batman song.
that Batman song, "Kiss from a Rose." Yeah.
yeah.
Ba-da-da. That was a good
And
one.
like a dance song we had before that, right?
I didn't know that Michael Keaton got asked to be in Batman 3 and he turned it down. I had no idea. I thought they were dating.
Well, he was supposed to be in it, and then Tim Burton wasn't going to do it.
That's right. Tim Burton backed out.
And
Right.
so, like, basically everybody that had been involved in the first two were like, okay, then we're out.
Yeah, because they're supposed to. Wasn't that supposed to be Two-Face?
Now, Billy D. Williams was going to do Two-Face, but they bought out his contract.
No, it was. Is it the canceled Batman 3 or the canceled Batman 2? Remember, we talked about this like 6 months ago, and we saw that like that poster that was made, and like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That 2 or 3? That was 3, right? That was the
It was
original.
3. It was supposed to be Batman Forever. I don't know if it was going to be called Batman Forever at that time.
Right.
But yeah, 3. And originally Tim Burton had, you know, they had a script. He was casting, like all this stuff. And I don't know what happened, but Tim Burton decided he wasn't going to do it. When he decided he wasn't going to do it, everybody else involved was like, well, fucking Tim Burton's not going to do it. He did the first 2 movies. We're not fucking doing it. And so they had to redo the entire fucking thing. I think they kept the same basic storyline, which was going to be Two-Face and introducing Robin. I don't know if Riddler was originally going to be in it or not.
The guy played Alfred. He stayed around.
Oh, yeah, the guy, yeah, he stuck around for all 4 movies. But yeah, everybody else was backed out, and they did a completely different movie. And yeah.
It's like the least important dude in that Batman story cut.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. All right, Last of Us guns.
Yeah.
So, couple Berettas here. Always a good choice. We were just talking about that today. I'm still kicking myself for not buying that damn compact Beretta, however many years ago that was. It was like 3-4 years ago, something like that. I can't remember. It went on sale somewhere. What's up, you fucking bitch? Laura, I can't hear you. What the hell are you saying? Oh, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
Who is it?
God damn it. I still can't hear you. What the hell? It's because he's a Marine. That's why.
Are you talking to me?
No.
Who are you talking to?
Hey,
Bottom square for the win.
Can you hear me now?
okay, now I can hear you.
All right, I had to turn my volume on my headset.
Leave it up to a Marine to not figure out how to fucking work a microphone.
Man, I'm stuck on crayons and I'm trying to, stay awake right now. So, going into that crayon food coma.
Nice.
Oh, speaking of which, did you ever find all your crayons, Duke?
I found most of them. Thank you. I found more of them today, which was more funny to me. That had been like, thank you. But so she's carrying a Beretta.
Yes, she's carrying the Inox Beretta,
Yeah.
and then his brother's carrying the other Beretta.
Okay. Which is cool.
So there's the Browning you were talking about today, which I didn't even catch that one when I watched the show.
I can't remember who's carrying that. Is it her or him?
It's her wannabe little girlfriend.
Oh, that's
carrying
which is,
Browning. Yeah.
it's kind of funny to me that like they're both carrying kind of nicer, higher end guns.
Oh yeah.
But
You know what that speaks to? That tells me right there that by the time of the apocalypse, Glocks have disintegrated. That's what you get for buying a plastic pistol. No.
Yeah. Well, and it tells me, in my opinion, this tells me that someone of substance is in charge of things like this, which makes me happy. They're not
Well, either that or and unfortunately I think this is more likely, is that the armorers who get brought onto projects like this, okay, are sourcing from a pool of guns that have been used for 30 or 40 years. That, you know what I mean? Because they don't just go buy new guns most of the time, right? Like these Hollywood, good, these, not these fly-by-night ones that make fucking westerns with Alec Baldwin, but like good, long-standing fucking armory companies that come in and supply guns for movies have been around for a while, and they probably have a ton of guns that are set up and specifically just on-screen stunt guns, right? And it's probably a pool of guns that they've been pulling from for 10, 20, 30 years, going back to the 1980s. So a lot of the guns they have are older guns that are, or not necessarily older guns, but guns that have been around for a long time, that are probably still being made today, right? But like guns that it could have been some of the, like the you look at like the Berettas and stuff that they're using, like this is not a new modern version of an Inox. I don't think, do they even make Inoxes without rails anymore?
Yes.
I don't know, but I do know that I saw them on sale for fairly lower prices. It was like 799 tacos or something like that.
Oh, for an Inox?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
699 tacos.
99 tacos. But I disagree. These are conscious decisions that are being made by somebody who knows and likes guns. Because every time, it's like The Walking Dead. When they didn't care about it, and obviously we're kind of moving in like an anti-gun direction, the gun stuff was lame. There weren't good guns. They were like kind of no-name, knockoff, cheapy, whatever. And these are calculated decisions, and they even show them, like kind of show them off a little bit in like cool little like shots with the camera. So I think gun justice for us, and I think it's a conscious decision. I've never played the game. I would like to talk to somebody who's an expert at the game to tell me if these are guns that the characters carried throughout the game. Like, does Joel carry a Beretta? Does he carry a M1A1? Like, those are, specific questions I'd like to know.
Yeah, because I've never played the games either, so I don't know.
Oh, I want to, but that's not my style of fun. So I'm probably just gonna watch a review of somebody.
Joe gets up and close with. He likes golf clubs, I believe.
Look at that Ruger P89.
Oh,
Nobody catch that, but I know.
Those guns are so fucking ugly.
They are ugly, but they are awesome. Dude, I got a lot of member berries with those things.
Tank, dude. They're built like a tank.
Yeah.
But they are hideous looking guns. Like if you compare them, because I mean the reason that Ruger made these guns was to compete with all Smith & Wesson's, Wonder Nines that they were pumping out, from the late 80s and, throughout the 90s and stuff. And
so what?
Yeah. I was just going to say, they look like the Temu version of a Smith & Wesson.
They do.
I say like the P95s look way better though.
They did make some improvements as the design went on for a little ways. I mean, now don't get me wrong, they're ugly shit. I would still own one. If you could still pick these up cheap, because I remember when you could pick them up for like $250 all day long.
Yeah.
So they were, especially in the 2000s and going into the early 2010s. I wish I had picked one up for like $200 because I definitely saw a bunch of them at that price. Because I would love to have one in the collection, but
it was $300 where I was at. I almost bought it. But I bought like what did I buy? I think I bought the SD.
You might as well. I mean, you might be able to pick them up at like pawn shops, but I mean, good luck.
Look, it's a Model 10, dude.
Yeah, I know. I knew this was coming. Who carries this though? I can't. Is it her? It's her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't see this in the episode. I think this is a part of the preview because I didn't catch it in the episode at all. I think this is a part of the preview, so later on she'll carry it, which I think is a viable option in the apocalypse. So, not on ammo though. Ammo supply for 38 is going to be crappy. So, I don't know. It's kind of specific.
See, we got a Taurus Model 66.
I just want to say it's not gun related, but thank you again, Leo, for what you did.
Okay, yeah. I was happy to do it. I'm just addicted
Yeah,
to
he
it.
was.
All right.
Yes.
So,
So addicted to it.
who carries the Taurus?
Very addictive.
That's Pedro Pascal.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's I don't think that's a Model 66. I think that's a Model 65.
I didn't see them carrying guns inside the walls, which was strange to me.
I mean, unless they just put the wrong picture here, I think that's a Model 65, not a 66,
I'm not good with that.
because there's too much daylight between the cylinder and the frame. A Model 66, I own a 65, and I have owned a 66, and on the 66 you don't see daylight there because it's got a larger cylinder. It's a 7-round cylinder. I don't know.
The chat is asking who is the new guy.
Not
New
new.
guy. The
New
new
guy.
guy's not a new guy. The new guy's an old guy who just hasn't been here for fucking what, 5-6 years? You unmute yourself, fucking Marine. God damn it.
Sorry. Well, I just didn't want to make a lot of noise in the background. I mean, shit. No, it's been about 4 years. Because I was out of Missouri for 2 years, and then I was doing shows with you when Dan and I were down in Queen Creek.
Yeah.
For a couple years, and then I stopped because of work and shit.
And now Dan's back in Pennsylvania getting married.
Yep. He's back in Pennsylvania. I'm back in Arizona because Missouri tried to kill me. It's very humid out there. So I needed the dry desert.
All right, the M1A. This was my favorite gun in the episode.
Oh yeah, by far.
This was. I still want one. I don't want to pay Springfield for one. That's my problem.
I want one, but then in Furnace, like, crapped all over my idea, told me to not get one. And usually he's pretty spot on, but I'm like, you got to be wrong on this one. I want one bad, but my problem is I don't want to make that caliber jump. That caliber jump is going to be a lot. Is somebody cooking something in the background? I could hear something like cooking.
It smells like a pan. Somebody's stirring in a pan. I don't know.
Wait, is it my seat massage?
It's not me. I was mute.
Hold on. Now can you hear it?
No, I cannot hear it. It's gone.
Okay, that was me. It's probably my seat massager was on.
Oh, okay. Like, who is cooking? Who's cooking?
Come on, everybody. Leave Leo alone. He's trying to massage his balls right now.
Yes, it's my vibrator. Yes.
I just don't want to make that caliber jump because I'm like you. I want one, and I want one just so I have one.
You don't have any 308 right now?
I have no 308.
Oh.
No,
I don't have a lot. Like, because I've got one bolt action rifle, so I think I've got like 500 rounds for it. It's just for hunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got 30-06, 7.62 by 50 by 54, and then 30-06. Yeah.
My dad had a nice 308. I can't tell you the model of it. I don't know how many times I cleaned it. It's been 20 years since I cleaned it. I guess it's in my brother's gun safe now. But he was hunting one time and he got like 2 deer with one shot. Perfect alignment.
What was I just watching? I was watching 1923. Duke, you would like that show. And have you watched it yet?
No.
So it's like you know, it's a Montana ranch, and well, obviously 1923, and just like the shit that goes down in the 1920s. And anyway, there was this fucking scene where this dude who's He's been on the show, but right, like he's like a World War One vet, and he's been in Africa doing all this shit. For everybody that watches the show, you know who I'm talking about. And like in the last episode of the series, it's only 2 seasons, but in the last episode of the series, he finally comes home to Montana because shit has gone down while he's been gone. And he's like the titular fucking badass, right?
Oh, nice.
He's the, you know, he was a World War One vet. Then he fucking, after World War One, he fucking went to Africa and started hunting like big game and shit like that for the Royal Military while they were expanding into Africa. So he's like, just, you know, vet, big game hunter, fucking badass all around, whatever. And he shows back up in Montana as like his family's fucking about to get wiped out by a fucking by a dude who wants to take over all this land in Montana and turn it into like a fucking resort town, and he wants to wipe out the fucking family to do it, you know?
God,
you know, less laws, especially in fucking 1923 Montana, where there's like fucking 5 people that live to every fucking 100 miles or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, and dude shows up like right in the last episode. Finally, like you've been watching him all this shit that he's been doing for 2 seasons, and he's the only one that's not in Montana with the rest of the family. And he finally comes home, and he just fucks these dudes up. And at one point, these 2 dudes are fucking like perfectly lined up, and he walks around a corner, and they're not even looking at him. They're both like standing next to each other, like looking this way, and he's fucking got a fucking 357, and he just walks around the corner, bang, and he just goes through both heads.
Oh,
and like he just it was a great scene for anybody that's especially if you've watched the show and you're invested, to see him like because since the fucking first episode in the first season, you're like, oh fucking, like he's the badass of the like they're all good. I mean, Harrison Ford's like the dude who runs the ranch, right? Like he's a badass. Like everybody's a badass, but he's like uber badass, you know? And so you're like waiting for him because you know he's gonna eventually get home to Montana where shit's going down. So you've been waiting 2 seasons for that moment when he fucking shows up, you know?
There is
it was just a great scene.
I'll have to
Like
check it out.
Yeah, their house is like fucking getting surrounded by all these dudes that the rich dude paid to fucking take them out, you know? Like a scene out of fucking Scarface or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they all pull up in their fucking cars, and it's great too, because like it's like all like fucking, you know, it's lever actions and shit. You know what I mean? They're all like fucking. There's like 5 dudes protecting the fucking house and the ranch with like lever actions, and then all the dudes pulling up in cars mostly have lever actions and like fucking Model 10s and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's real old school fucking, you know.
This reminds me of a scene. Did you ever watch the show Boardwalk Empire?
Dude, I've watched like the first 4 episodes.
Okay, so it's hard. It's a very specific genre of a show. It's one of my favorite shows ever made. Anyways, short story.
Good show.
There's a World War I veteran who has half his face blown off. He wears that tin mask.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into a brothel to save his friend's son. And it's him versus 30 mobsters. And he has like 2 Model 10s, a shotgun, and a rifle, like a bolt-action rifle, and he goes completely ham. It's one of the best gun scenes ever, and he's killing like 30 mob guys to save his best friend's son, and it is, you got to watch the series, but it's really good. So,
I've heard that it like. If you like Peaky Blinders, you'll like Boardwalk Empire, and vice versa. And I have watched all of Peaky Blinders, which is fucking great.
And you'll love it.
And it's I mean, it's different stories and takes place in a different country and everything. But you know, like the dudes, you know, like most of the main characters in Peaky Blinders are like fucking World War I vets, you know, and it's 1920 or whatever, and they've come home and they've started this gang in this town that they run, and
well, this
you know,
it's during the Prohibition era.
This is it's prohibition, so it's all about running guns and booze and anti-government, but it's got slimy government in it. It's very good, and Steve Buscemi sells the show and does like 10 out of 10.
Like I said, I've watched like the first 4. I might have watched most of the first season.
Season 1,
I've seen it all, all where he goes through. Like, but it was a lot of buildup, so I never really like.
The payoff is good. You just got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Watch the season, and then you're like, oh, I'm into this. 1, 2, and 3 are good. Don't waste your time with 4. I can tell you what happens in 3 seconds, and you'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, and 3 are like nonstop.
Because I've gotten to the point to where, like, what's his face, Michael, the government guy. I can't remember his name. Zod from Man of Steel.
Oh, he's good. No,
he showed up in town. Steve Buscemi's, running guns and making deals, and he's like big shit in town, and he's like working on that housekeeper lady that he's kind of, he's helping her out, but he's also like clearly interested in her and all that shit, and like there's the one lady who lost her husband, and like I've watched several episodes of the first season, and it was good. I don't know why I didn't keep watching it, honestly. But no, it's a show that's like on my list to watch. So
I was gonna say, what part was season 4? I'm trying to remember. To what Duke was talking about. He said that was like a little bit of a lower episode.
I have no idea. And Duke,
I think it's a Duke question.
That's a Duke question. I don't think Duke wants to say, because maybe if he says something, it'll spoil the first 3 seasons. I don't know.
Is Duke there?
Apparently not. Apparently he's left. I don't know.
He was just there.
Yeah.
He already fell asleep.
Did he fall asleep again? Yeah, he fell asleep again. Okay.
It was that quick.
No, but it's a good show, because I think that was like near the end, the one he's talking about. That scene.
Let's see. I'm checking the chat here real quick. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? M16, A2, an A4, A1.
So we just went to start talking about guns and guns in movies or shows and stuff.
I don't know. We were going to talk, because we already knew we wanted to talk about Last of Us tonight. So we were like talking about the gun stuff in Last of Us.
Oh, I forgot they came out.
Yeah. Who had the Type 56? I don't remember this. WLF soldiers used the Type 56. I don't remember that. Mossberg 500. Remington
geez.
I remember those.
Guns on the show. Okay.
It's mounted on a military transport. Okay, well. No, the shining star of the episode was the M1A.
Oh, really?
That was the one that caught my attention the most. Yeah, but no, I was talking to a dude today who bought a shotgun. He said he bought it 4 years ago and has never ever done anything with it, not even loaded it. He bought a shotgun somewhere. He doesn't know what it is, because I tried asking him and he was like, "Oh, I don't know. It's and I was like, "Was it a Remington, a Mossberg?" So it's a Remington. And they showed me a picture of it. There's no way in hell it was a Remington. I think it's some imported shotgun.
Like Ithaca or something.
Like an Escort or something like that.
I don't know. He showed me a picture, but not the side that showed what gun it is. But I could tell it wasn't a Remington and it wasn't a Mossberg. So I'm guessing it's probably some imported thing, because it's got the plastic furniture and shit on it, and like a cheaper looking pistol grip and stuff. It could be what is it, the Stevens 320? Is that what it is?
Shit, I would say if you got a picture.
I don't know. He does on his phone. He showed it to me on his phone today. Anyway, so he was having problems with it. He would load one in. I was trying to ask him what he was doing. He's like, "Oh, well, I would load one in and then like he was loading a round in the tube and then racking it in the chamber. Then he would load up the tube, the rest of the tube, fill it up, and then he was trying to like cycle through the rounds. And I was like, "Were you doing this without shooting it?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "But it would jam up when I would try to cycle through the rounds." He's like, "Every time when I would try to eject the first round," he's like, "the first round would go in fine, but then when I would try to eject that first round to cycle in the next round, it jams up. It like gets caught up on the feed ramp or something, you know, the little loading gate. I don't know. He was trying to explain it to me, and I was asking him like, well, how quick are you fucking racking the shotgun, right? Like, are you doing it really slow? Because we all know, especially on imported guns, some of those imported guns like only really work well when you rack one in quick.
Yep.
And so I
was going to say, tell him to stop short stroking it, and
I don't know if he was doing that. Again, he didn't seem to know a lot about this shotgun. So I don't know what he was doing. So I told him to go home and load it up and try cycling through the rounds really quick and see if that makes a difference, if it'll cycle through, or he could be short stroking it. I don't know. If he keeps having problems with it, he's going to bring it to me. I'm going to take a look at it. I think
tell him to take all the rounds out, all the shells out of it, and just work the action with nothing in there.
Well, no, I did tell him that. I told him that. I was
Okay.
like, that's how you get it clean. Because a lot of times these cheaper guns, although he said he paid like $500 for it, so I don't know what he has. I don't know if he got ripped off. I have no idea because I cannot tell what kind of shotgun this is from the pictures.
Is it old or new?
He said he bought it new 3 or 4 years ago.
What bothers me is that I hope they didn't sling him some cheap Turkish one. And like where he bought it from is a reputable place that shouldn't be pushing that. They should be like, oh, you want to use like Mossberg or Remington, this is what you need. But
yeah,
I worry that he bought some like cheap piece of crap gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
That's possible, dude.
They don't. I know where he went, and they usually push good stuff. So that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know, because he said he just walked in there and told them he needed a good shotgun and just took their recommendation. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm hoping he gets it figured out, but if he doesn't, hopefully he'll bring it up to me and I can take a look at it and we'll actually know what kind of shotgun it is. But let me get this super chat here real quick. Kaloon says, read my last chat and try not to squint. Really? You wouldn't have noticed the Type 56 because to you all AKs look alike, you racist. Chinese AKs matter. I like Type 56s. They're great. They're great. I just don't remember seeing one in the fucking show. I don't remember seeing an AK in the show. At least not in the first episode. But I could have.
Yeah, AKs are pretty distinctive, and you've been a fan of AKs for, well, since as long as I've known you. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing an AK. I remember a couple of the pistols, and I remember the M1A, and AR-15s were everywhere because everybody was carrying one. I don't remember a fucking AK. So I don't know. What was I saying? I don't remember. Something about somebody's imported shitty shotgun. Now we'll see. I hopefully he gets it worked out. But if not, hopefully he brings it in so I can fucking take a look at it and see what's going on. I really want to get a hold of this one. I've got one sitting over here that I can't show anybody because fuck YouTube. But I've got this thing right here. That is, let's do it without showing it on camera. It is a bolt action 22, and it is, let's see, what model is this? Winchester Model 67. Yeah, Winchester Model 67 bolt action 22. that I'm going to be restoring. I got to figure out a way to. We were talking about this before the chat, but I got to figure out a way to like do a video on this. Right now, I don't have like a tabletop area to do a video. Of it, but the guy I'm
Matt,
for wants it refinished. He wants it just kind of restored a little bit. It's not in awful shape, to be honest. Like it doesn't look bad. It's got, you know, some dings in the stock, and the barrel could use a rebluing, but it's not awful. You know what I mean? Like it's what you would expect from an, you know, a 22 that's probably, you know, at least 50 years old, maybe older. I don't know, but it's not in bad shape at all for how old it is. It really just needs to be cleaned up. But he wants it like redone and looking nice and shiny and new. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to I'll at least do like a before and after on it. So you can see what it looks like before and after. I won't do a complete breakdown on everything I do to it because very few people actually care about those types of videos. But it'll be a fun project to work on. So that'll be cool.
hey Matt, sorry, I know I haven't been around in a while.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you said you moved.
Yes.
Did you move during the before the election?
No.
You moved out. You don't mind me asking? Are you
moved
still in Tejas, or did you go somewhere else?
No, I'm not in Texas anymore. I'm in Michigan.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, you made it to the cold. I know you wanted to.
Dude, and I have so enjoyed it. I was talking to somebody at work today who like has been for the last week bitching about the cold and is mad at me because I'm enjoying it.
You have a Snack Fun super chat.
Oh, hey, what's up, John? Snack Fun. Good to be able to catch a stream again. Well, thank you, John. Yeah, I haven't seen John pop in here in a while. I appreciate it, sir.
Matt and Dookie Duke are neighbors now.
That's right.
Matt is the only one happy about cold weather.
Dude,
See, that's where I was gonna go.
I am
Because-
loving the cold weather. Dude, we don't, like, the dude I was talking to at work was, like, getting mad at me. Like, it's my fault. Because, like, apparently, I guess, I don't know, Duke, you tell me. He was acting like this winter's lasting longer than normal.
No, it's mild.
And I'm like, he's like, it needs to stop. I'm like, man, I'm going to enjoy it every fucking minute of the day because I'm loving the cold weather. Because dude, it hasn't been since I was 19 and lived in Colorado that I've had consistent cold weather for this long. Like, you don't get this in Texas. Even if you live in North Texas, you don't get, like, I've been here for 2 months. And it's literally, except for I can count like 2 days that it wasn't cold. And even then, like for me, it wasn't hot. Like I know like earlier this week on Monday or whatever it was, it got up to like 71 or some shit. And people were like, oh, it's hot. I'm like, this ain't hot, motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'll take that than the heat.
you're about 30 degrees south of hot.
I'm like, 70 something degrees is not hot. That's still the temperature it was outside when people were saying it's hot was still lower than the temperature I can get my house to in South Texas running the AC full blast 24/7. I could maybe get it down to like 74. So
Man, your energy bill must have been huge.
dude, it was fucking nuts, dude.
You know what,
Well, to be fair,
I just paid my power bill $187.
I keep my house at a comfortable 80 degrees during the summer. And I'm still paying 180 bucks a month.
well,
I've been getting shit because we have not turned our heater on. And so a couple of dudes that I work with were like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, they're like, when it's cold, they turn their heaters up to 70. I'm like, fuck you, no. I'm going to enjoy the weather. We don't turn the heat on. So it's like, fucking, dude, it's gotten down to like 45 degrees in the house. and we're just fucking putting blankets and shit on. I'm fine, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, when you've been living in an oven for 20 years and 20 plus years, it's nice to go sit in the icebox for a while.
No shit.
Yeah.
I love it. Our heater doesn't kick on for shit, man. Like, we don't turn the heater on in the house. Last night, it was in the 30s or whatever it was, and we fucking had the windows open in the house. We had the living room windows open. Fucking, like, I'm going to enjoy it for as long as possible.
See, Matt, I would love that. My girl, she don't like that. She already had a good whiff of that cold air. She's happy that she's in Phoenix, so it's it's hot over there.
I don't.
Well, I'm out living by the Colorado River now, and it gets hotter here than it did in Phoenix. But whatever. I like the dry heat. Now, don't get me wrong. I liked the cold in Missouri during the winter. Like, we got down to like -9 a couple of times. I just didn't like trying to drive on the ice. That sucked.
No, I'm with you there on the dry heat because I've been around Texas and Florida. I don't like that humidity heat.
That's why I left Missouri, man. The humidity was killing me.
Well, one thing I will say about here, so far as I've noticed the last 2 months, and there's been a lot of snow in the last 2 months. Dude, they fucking de-ice the fucking roads religiously. I have never had an issue with like hitting ice or snow on the road. Like, and I go to work, I wake up and I hit the road by 5:15 in the morning and roads are clear. You know what I mean? Even if it fucking dumped snow the night before. By the time I get up and get on the road at like 5:15, fucking smooth sailing on the roads. I have not had to worry about. I mean, like, as far as I can tell, at least in the part of Michigan I live in, they got that shit down. You know what I mean? They keep the roads fucking clear.
Now, have you guys had an ice storm out there?
I define ice storm versus.
It's pretty much where you don't get snow, you get ice. Everything freezes over. Like, you got black ice all over the roads and shit like that. Yeah. All right, as long as you can get through one of those, you're okay.
And they fucking keep their roads fucking clear. Like, they've got the de-icing trucks, and then they got the fucking, what do they call those trucks, Duke? The ones that look like street sweepers, but they're for snow and ice.
Salt trucks.
Salt trucks.
I guess. Well, I don't know, because I've seen the salt trucks, and then I saw some other ones that had like big brushes on the bottom of them. Like, they look like street sweepers, but they were going through and street sweeping ice and snow off the road.
That's salt trucks.
That's the same as the salt trucks? Okay. Well, whatever, man. They clean the roads like a motherfucker, because I've never had a problem with
I've only seen it one time here because it was absolutely fucking hilarious. They sent a plow truck that does like runways through my road. I'm on a little back road. The only reason that happened because there's a bunch of people piling up. I live on top of a steep hill that's got an S-turn at the top, like about a 45-degree angle. 3 neighbors were stuck on a sheet of ice. They sent like 3 cops to try to help. They all got stuck and slid off the road. So after that, they took care of road there for a little while. That neighbor come knock on my door. Can you help get my husband unstuck? It's like, no, it's ice. If I take my truck down there, I'm just going to slide into and crush everybody.
Now let's go back just.
When I was going to say when I was in Missouri, I lived out in Rolla, just outside of Rolla, and like out and past where all the cattle ranches and shit were at. And yeah, they got the roads quick, but when it first initially hit, you could be slip sliding all over the place.
I took my 4-wheeler down there, like on the side of the road in the dirt and stuff where I could mash it down and break the ice. What's funny is, like, you had those 3 cops there, 3 cop cars there stuck. There's little young mom with her baby in the back seat, teetering on the side of the road, terrified, and not one of those cops went up there to help her. I went and got my tow strap, tied her car off up to a tree so she can take her foot off the brake and get out.
I'm just gonna, yeah. I think cops in areas where they get like heavy amounts of snow and ice, they should have a winch on the front of their car, the
Yeah.
front of their vehicle, so they can, in situations like that, they can at least keep
Uh,
them from going further over.
It's not of a real major occurrence around here anymore. It used to be back in the day, but not as much now. Damn climate change.
Never experienced ice like that, so that's all new to me.
Well, you live in California, man. If it drops below 70, y'all are like, it's cold. And if it gets above 90, you're like, oh, it's hot. I'm dying.
Well, I mean, I don't live in the mountains. I mean, that's the closest they'll deal with that. But yeah, remember, I'm in flatland, so it's like, okay.
Hey, what part of SoCal are you in?
LA?
Oh, LA. Yeah, I was out in San Bernardino when I was out there.
Okay, I know where that's
We're desert area.
In Bernardino, used to live there myself. Not a bad place. Horrible place, actually. Smells like Mos Eisley.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I've always called it scummy burnt.
it's
I've
bad.
always called it scummy burnt out ghetto.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think y'all might have lived there for the same reason.
I think so.
Well, now, Heavy, you were still in San Bernardino when that shooting happened, because I remember we were checking on you.
Yeah, the Terrible 2. It was such not a big deal. They got more gang shootings than that shit. That wasn't crap, man.
Well, because it was a big
It was
deal.
just people blowing shit up.
It was because it was like a terrorist fucking whatever the fuck that thing was. But what was that? That was what, 2015, 2016? When the fuck was that shooting?
It's got to be 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2015-ish, maybe early 2016. No, because it was nice. Well, it's always nice out. So, friggin', I don't know. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Like saying, oh, it was a hot day in South Texas.
I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with that whole area because I know more people are moving that direction. But
It's a hive of scum and villainy. What else we got to talk about? I don't know.
Oh, did you see the heroic new female astronauts that went to?
Fucking Katy Perry and whoever the fuck.
I didn't
They
even
were,
know she was
they
there.
were passengers that went 60 miles up in the air and come back down.
Who gives a shit? I don't know why
I love the
They went up.
I love the memes where they're talking about Katy Perry coming down for 5 minutes from her flight and kissing the ground. Those two astronauts, they put them in those plaid shirts. That dude's always disappointed looking at you.
Yeah.
Those two astronauts looking at her.
Yeah. Oh, you're so heroic. It's like fucking 94-year-old William Shatner did it first. Remember that?
They're even talking about this one may be in faked because at least they get them out of the pod because the pod's not supposed to open from the inside. And they were walking up to it, and the women inside were opening the pod, and they pulled the door shut. So no, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture of the booster that they were showing not going up in the air looks like there's a mouse running around on the back of it. It's like they faked it.
I mean, look, there's some strong mice that can hang on to shit. Okay, that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, there's a documentary about this one called Mighty Mouse.
Yes, there is.
But they were like in no atmosphere, and the mouse was running around on the back of the booster.
I just find it funny that everybody's clowning on, no matter what political spectrum you are, everybody's clowning about that.
Notice we didn't get any news coverage of saving those two astronauts. But they're talking crazy about these people went on a joyride.
Oh, did y'all hear about the current IRS crisis? Have y'all heard about this shit?
The most.
Oh, is the IRS going to close down now?
Well, they're well, no. So like, they had so earlier this year, whatever it was, I can't remember if it was February or in March, but like 22,000 IRS employees decided to take that deferred resignation fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the golden handshake,
basically. And now they're saying like there's another 12,000 that have been fired so far this year. And then they're saying they're having another crisis of up to 25% of the ones that are left might end up quitting. And of course, the news is pumping this out like, oh my God, this is so horrible. What? This is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, let's get all of them to fucking quit. How about you just fucking force all the IRS out?
All
Why
I
is
want to know is where's my $57 I'm supposed to get back?
How the fuck is the media spinning this like it's a bad? Does anybody give a shit? Is there one single person that doesn't work for the IRS that gives a shit about the IRS?
But look at that idiotic senator flew down to El Salvador. Is going to try to force a meeting with the president of El Salvador so he can talk to that illegal immigrant that got deported who's a resident of El Salvador.
I just watched that. Wasn't that guy like declared by 2 separate courts as a member of MS-13?
Yes. And they want to no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. There's 2 fucking
like the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court even ruled in favor of Trump on saying, "Fuck you, we're not doing that. We don't have the power to do that. He's in El Salvador. He's El Salvadorian. It's up to El Salvador to deal with him."
Yep.
And they're like, "You guys can't do that." And like, "Oh yeah, they can."
And they refuse to call him an illegal immigrant. They keep calling him a Maryland man. The media. The sick.
Bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Well, in the press briefing with the Trump was with the president of El Salvador, and they were lying, calling him a Maryland man. Are you going to return him? He's like, how am I going to smuggle a terrorist back into the United States? No.
Dude, they're fucking nuts, dude. The shit that they pull out of their ass.
That senator that went down today
like it's a bad fucking thing is insane.
Yeah,
dude, it's fucking insane.
That senator that went down to El Salvador to try to get a meeting with the president. He didn't even facilitate a meeting through the proper channels. He was just going down there to force a meeting with him, and the president of El Salvador said, "Fuck you! I'm not meeting with you. You arrange a meeting through Trump's administration."
The president of El Salvador was just with President Trump.
And he denied his
recently
in the United States.
In the White House.
They think they got more power than they fucking do.
Well, and this whole thing that somehow the media has convinced mass quantities of people that were very firmly on the fuck corporation side to now be bitching and whining that the stock market has done its little fucking thing, costing corporations money, is fucking amazing to me. Like, these left-tarded morons were all back in 2011 screaming, "We are the 99%," and fucking trying to do everything they could to trash corporations, and have been doing it ever since then, by the way. But the minute the stock market dips and corporations take a hit, the media has convinced them to be like, "Oh, this is awful. What about this?" And like, okay, motherfucker, y'all don't give a shit. I thought y'all hated these corporations. Yeah. I thought you hated all these fucking banks. Didn't you hate all the people that were making all this money, and now you're fucking mad on their behalf? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
And nothing. It's not even gotten down low as it was at the lowest point during the Biden administration. It dropped down a little bit.
Oh no, it's nowhere near what happened for 4 years under Biden.
Yep.
It's nowhere near it.
What? It bounced right fucking back and over where it started.
Oh yeah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because now Trump's in charge. So not only do we have to worry about the fucking moving and bumping around that is nowhere near as bad as it was under Biden, but we also have managed to talk a bunch of anti-corporatist fucktards into fucking defending corporations.
Well, it's the same. It's very similar to the mindset too. Back when the same people, when Trump was president, developed the jibby jab.
Mm-hmm.
I had people I work with saying, "I'm not going to have anything to do with that vaccine, as long as Trump's involved."
Yeah.
As soon as he got Biden got in office, the same people who developed that vaccine still the same fucking vaccine. Oh, you need to get that vaccine, or you're going to lose your job.
Yep.
You need to protect others.
Yeah, I actually lost a job over it. I was working for a medical insurance company, and I got canned because I didn't get the jab. And it's not because it was because I wasn't going to get it.
I did take it to keep my job, and I got health problems afterward. Now it gave me psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis.
Oh, people are suing Pfizer for fucking, actually any company that made a vaccine because of all the negative effects.
My body is so full of inflammation now, it's painful just to fucking move. It's probably why I cuss so much now. It's not Matt's influence.
Well, I got the Covfefe once, and I haven't had a problem ever since. So
Yeah, I had it once, and it was no problem.
When I got it back, I got it fairly early on. I got it in August of 2020, which, I mean, everybody knows because I was doing shows. And I was sick for like 3 days. And it sucked for 3 days. I mean,
yeah, the worst part about mine, I ended up getting like the chest infection, so I just had to take an antibiotic afterwards.
Worst part about mine was 6 weeks after I couldn't taste anything. It did fuck up my fucking taste buds.
I didn't get that with mine.
Yeah, I did. I've never had that. I've never had that happen before. I hear that's something that happens from time to time with people who get like the flu really bad or whatever. Like I've heard that's common for certain types of viruses that, affect your sinuses, that can happen. I'd never had that happen before with anything. So that was going, but that had happened. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I was sick for 3 days. I was sick Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By Wednesday, I was feeling way better. But then for 6 weeks after that, like I could taste some stuff, but everything that I could taste tasted weird. It didn't taste normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I could, and you know what else I had noticed? And this lasted for months. And it's the only thing I can attribute it to because it didn't happen till I lost my sense of taste. But for almost a year after that, as weird as this sounds, I don't know how else to describe it. I could smell heat.
Yeah, I could do
There
that.
was a distinct smell that I could smell if like somebody turned on the oven.
You can't do that normally?
No.
I've always just smelled
I'm not
heat.
talking about a burning smell. I'm not talking about
I'm not talking about it either. I'm just heat in general.
Just heat. It was a smell that I was unfamiliar with. Like it was a smell I had never smelled before in my life, and it's gone away. I haven't smelled it since then.
Huh.
And it's just this. It's the only way I can describe it. It was like anything that was hot. I could smell it. It was giving off a smell that didn't smell like anything else, and it didn't matter what the heat source was. So it didn't matter if it was a stove or a heater or a blow dryer or whatever the fuck it was, which all have their own smells anyway. Because like a blow dryer, when you turn on a blow dryer, right, the plastic of the blow dryer heats up and you kind of smell that. Or if you're cooking on a stove, right, like you can kind of smell the pan heating up or whatever. I'm talking about a completely separate smell that was unique.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I smell that every time.
Yeah, I've never smelled that in my life. And I did for almost a year after that, like to the point that I could smell it from the other side. I could smell when my wife turned on the stove.
Yeah.
Like before she was cooking anything, she would just turn on the stove to warm it up. I could smell it from the other side of the house. It was fucking weird. And then it went away.
I live with that every day.
I smell smoke every once in a while when there's no smoke. There's nothing burning. But that's because I got COPD. So
it didn't smell like smoke. It didn't smell like anything burning.
Right.
It's weird. I can't even describe what it smelled like because I've never
It's
smelled
almost like a metallic smell.
Maybe a little bit. It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's like I could smell
A little bit of sweet, a
the
little metallic.
air change. It was fucking weird, dude.
I forgot to turn the heat on the other day, and like when I was in the kitchen, I was like, "What's that smell?" Oh yeah, I turned the heat on.
Yeah, it was weird, dude. It was weird. I never smelt it before, and I haven't smelt it since.
Oh, I before I got all this sinus congestion stuff, I always had like an overactive sense of smell. My dad had really good hearing, and I always talk about like, well, he could say he could hear a gnat fart. I said, well, I could smell it.
Yeah.
But I think it's damn congested anymore. I don't know if it's where I moved to. But if I take like a quercetin HBP, it clears my sinuses out. My sense of smell comes back.
Let's see. What's
So, are we not allowed to show toys on the shows anymore?
Can't show them on shows anymore. It'll get you booted off of YouTube quicker than shit. Yeah.
Even if it is a
No.
toy.
Dude, we were just looking at old videos. Was this a month or two ago? And my
Yep.
chat got taken down. We weren't even. It wasn't even live, but the algorithm thought
Yep.
I was showing a live feed of somebody handling a gun, and it wasn't. It was a video.
I got a toy.
And they took the chat down.
I got a little toy off the shelf, like Megatron Transformer in its gun mold.
Yeah.
Zap the stream.
Yeah, it killed my stream for a toy.
Even we called it a toy during the stream.
So
Well, shit.
fucking show anything. You can't. Well, you can show it. Like if I have a gun in the background, that's fine, but I can't touch it. You can't show anybody holding a gun on a
And you
live.
could have like a rack of guns behind you as long as you don't touch them.
So, fucking makes no sense.
Well, that's not cool.
So, but yeah,
I guess they think you're going to teach a class or something. I don't know.
I was just gonna show you because you've been harping on Maverick 88s and Taurus since like the dawn of man.
Yep.
And I was gonna show you when a new Maverick 88 I went out and bought. And I was walking around and I saw it. It was one of those field and security combo ones.
oh yeah, I
One of
love
the two
yeah.
barrels.
Those are great.
And it was at a good price, so I just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I was like,
How do you
I
like
don't
it?
like this, so I got it.
Good
I love
job.
it. It's great. It's just
Good job.
it's just a pump shotty. And then I've got that old, I don't know if you remember Dan buying that old chop down with an 18-inch barrel, that Browning Auto 5 clone he had, that Savage 720.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up getting that off him too, so that's sitting in my safe.
Oh, nice.
So and I got a couple other new toys, but since I can't show them to you, I guess I could take pictures and put them on Gorn.
We used to sit there. I mean, there were times we would sit there and just like show guns for a whole fucking chat.
Yeah. It would just be like hours of us going, and this, and I did this and that, and there's this, and
Not no more. Not no more.
Mm.
You can still show it in videos, but you can't show it in a live chat.
that sucks.
Yeah.
But so going to, I mean, Duke saying he didn't want to change calibers for 308. The 308 round, man, is not that expensive anymore. You can get bulk of that stuff still fairly cheap. Not as cheap as it once was, but you want an M1A, get an M1A. They're fun to shoot.
I was about to say when was it cheaper? 'Cause I still need to
I-
get some more ammo with that.
I want an M1A. I already have a 308. I just don't want to pay Springfield. I will refuse to give Springfield money.
So don't pay Springfield. Go to a gun shop or a pawn shop where they've already bought them, and buy it that way. That way Springfield doesn't see any money out of it, or
That
any
is
more
true.
than they already have.
Some of y'all are lucky enough to even go to gun stores like that. Because for me, it's like it's not worth it for me to go to a pawn shop, and it's like it's pretty much I'm paying crazy no matter what. Y'all, you can buy stuff real cheap from online to whatever.
I was actually thinking about building, finally coming around to the 300 Blackout. I got a couple of ARs, and I'm just like, I've got 5.56s, and I'm thinking, hey, why not get a 300 Blackout, put a can on it, because, prices are down, they're processing cans way faster. Why not just do that? And I was thinking, and the thing that's holding me back is the ammo, the switching up ammo. Which is stupid because I have a 5.7 pistol and all sorts of fucking rounds for that.
I mean, I don't blame you because I got a buddy that has 300 Blackout, but no point in you having it because we can't get suppressors here. But me, I'm going to be moving, so I don't get two shits. Thought about getting that. I heard the whole thing with 8.6 Blackout. That kind of has my interest.
Oh, the 8.6 Blackout's going to be on the AR-10 platform.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I was thinking do I want to do that, or do I want to go? If I went that big, because I considered it too, I was thinking, well, why not just go to 338 arc? Because I mean, it's the new hot round on there, but evidently the supersonic rounds are supposed to hit some really good distance shots out of shorter barrels.
Yep.
And then they're pretty much, I don't know, I can't say for sure, but from what I've seen on videos and stuff, they're still delivering some power, subsonic too. So
I don't know. I never got into the 300 blackout. I've never had I've never come up with a good enough reason to buy one.
It's only a good reason to get it if you have a suppressor. That's the whole point.
And that's why I was thinking about getting a suppressor.
Yeah. But Matt was never too much like, oh, I got a suppressor and stuff.
Yeah, I never really, I've had lots of people try and talk me into it, but hey, yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's it's damn near spot on with 7.62 by 39.
Yeah,
So,
I was just gonna say that you might as well just get a 7.62 by 39 platform and then run that suppressed with subsonics.
Yeah,
I mean, the cost of the ammo for the subsonics are going to be about the same as 300 blackout, but all the supersonic loads are going to be way cheaper.
Yeah, and you can buy fucking 7.62 by 39 way, way, way cheaper. Now, granted, the guns are no longer cheaper. It is now cheaper to slap together a 300 blackout than it is to go buy an AK or something.
A good one, yeah.
Ammo, the long-term, maintenance of the gun and buying ammo to shoot is going to be cheaper going with an AK. Oop, Tarkay dropped in a super chat. Thank you, sir. Says 300 blackout is practical outside of suppressed. 300 blackout have 50% more energy than 5.56, the same barrel length. True, and it does. Like an AK. They're ballistically very similar to an AK.
Well,
where you gain in muzzle energy, you lose in distance. You give up in range.
Yeah, you're going to be doing it near the same range as AK. The only problem I'm wondering is because I've seen some people have had suppressed AKs, but they're not really quiet compared to like 300 blackout or 8.6.
No.
People want that like you cannot hear me. I take you out, boom, real softly.
Which, if I cared about suppression, would be a factor. But I don't. So, I'm not.
I mean, honestly, just get like a 45 PCC and 45 automatic and a PCC, and then put a suppressor on it. It'd be cheaper, and you could have more fun.
That was one of the things I thought of too. Even though I never cared for the 45 round, I might maybe buy one for a PCC, but I'm trying to do one with that 9 I have. That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah, I'm good. I've got. As far as 9mm carbines, I've got the Streebog, and I love that thing so much that I'm at I had a few of them off and on. The last one that I had that I got rid of was that Sub 2000 Gen 2, which was nice, and I liked that it took Glock mags, which was cool. But the Streebog's so much better, even with proprietary mags. It's so fucking nice. And I don't know. Like if I need something like that, I've got that. And I don't really need. I don't know. I feel like I only need one good PCC in my collection, and that one's it. So unless I fucking decide to buy a CZ Scorpion or something someday, which would be nice to have one of those too. Then I've got the Streebog, which, fuck, dude, I love that gun. I'm so glad I bought it when I did too, because that thing has now caught on, and they're a lot harder to come by because everybody wants one now. But I'm glad I bought it when I did. So it's awesome. Although I don't think they're that much money. I don't think they're. How much does Streebogs costing now?
How much for those Gen 3s?
I don't know. I actually haven't seen one on sale for a while, except for like the 45 versions.
Let me see.
Well, man, you can always get that Springfield Kuna.
Oh, Jesus. The one, oh my God. So the one that I have now costs more than twice what I paid for it. Are you shitting me?
Last I checked, seeing a street bog, it was around the 8 or 9s. How much is it now?
Oh, there's one here for 12 and one for 14.
So you can buy a clone MP5 less than that. Hell, you could buy that Springfield thing less than that.
I mean,
Yeah, but he doesn't want to give money to Springfield.
I paid dude, I paid $650 for mine. And that was with the fucking brace and everything with it.
And it was a Gen 3 or Gen 1 or something.
1. It's a Gen 1. Gen 2.
Yeah, because
Gen 2,
okay.
Gen 1 didn't have the reciprocating charging handle. Mine has the reciprocating charging handle. So,
because I don't know if they sell the older generations no more. That's why it's probably gone up.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm glad I bought mine when I did, because shit. Yeah, I paid half that for mine, so. Yeah.
Good investment.
Yeah. I wish I could show it off. I put a linear fucking compensator on it, which is awesome, by the way. Those things are fucking great. I mean, it's not a suppressor. However, it does make a huge amount of difference in the sound of that thing. For anybody that's ever fucking played around with
Yeah, because it forces all the noise forward.
Yeah. And so if you're to the side or behind it or anything else, it's way fucking quieter. Way fucking quieter. Like, it doesn't hurt your ears. Not that 9mm does, you know what I mean? That, you know, but like, it's way quieter than any of my 9mm pistols. And you can actually, it's quiet enough when you're shooting. You can hear the action moving every time you pull the trigger. So it's nice, man. That linear comp is nice. So anyway, thought I'd throw that out there. Why not? Let's see. Most Gal in the chat says, I have a Ruger American Ranch and 300 Blackout. It's nice, but will be nicer if I ever get out of New York or suppressors get removed off the NFA. Yeah. The Ruger American Ranch. Yeah, those are nice guns.
I mean, I know he's in the same boat with me in my state, but I think even if they would have got rid of him off the NFA, we still probably be getting fucked with.
Tarkay says Gun Mag Warehouse has Streebog 20s on sale for cheap. They work decently. I've only got the 30s, and I've got 9 30-round mags for it.
I'd say you're covered.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. I haven't played around with any of the 20s. I mean, it's the same fucking thing. I'm not, I'm sure they work fine. I just only have the 30s for it. Dwayne says, I got the XTAR 9 Gen 2 instead of the B&M. I've heard good things. I've never played around with the XTAR 9, which is, well, people say it's an AR9. It's not an AR9 because internally it's different. It looks kind of like an... It looks like an AR on the outside. It uses it.
Well, I mean, it uses AR trigger groups, freaking... Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about getting one too. I mean, hell, they're only made right down the road from me.
Yeah.
So,
well, my fucking...
you have to order it through an FFL.
My Streebog uses an AR trigger group. You can drop an AR trigger group in there. The Streebog's cool, man. It's like a cross between an AR and an AK. The whole bolt and rail assembly and all that is very AK-ish as far as the piston and the way it rides and everything. But then it's got a fucking AR trigger group in it. So if you've ever taken one apart, it's like a cross between an AR and an AK. So
how's the trigger on that thing? Are you gonna get rid of it and put like a Geisley in it?
Yeah, you totally could. Yeah, you can just put a drop-in fucking AR trigger in it. So the only thing I wish is that it came with a swappable grip, pistol grip, because the pistol grip's part of the lower receiver. I wish it took AR pistol grips. Like you could swap them out. I'd put a mag pull or something on there. Not that the pistol grip on the gun is bad or anything, but you know, it'd be nice to be able to upgrade it. So, but you can't because it's all one piece on that lower receiver piece.
It puts a stock on a gun and makes it a super machine gun.
Yeah, according to some morons. Yep. Let's see. Engine guy says you need to finish that Gap. Got a feeling it will go up in value. No, the Gap can go fuck itself. Nobody's buying a fucking 45 Gap. I am not buying a 40. I know y'all been trying to get me to buy a 45 Gap.
Oh, you want to buy the 45 Girl automatic pistol?
Yeah. Y'all been trying to get me to buy a 45 Gap for several years now, and it ain't gonna fucking happen. I told the audience the only way that I will ever own a fucking 45 Gap is if somebody else buys it for me, or people send me the parts. I'll assemble one. But I ain't spending my money on a fucking 45 Gap. I don't want a fucking 45 Gap. Ain't gonna happen.
I mean, you'd have to like go do some archaeology to find rounds for it. I mean,
No shit.
Good luck loading this shit, unless you want to
I mean,
cut down all sorts of cases.
Yeah, no, I
Probably a
don't
good investment.
fucking shitty ass round on fucking gun. Like nobody, like, you know, I get what Glock was trying to do. Like I do, I understand. Like, you know, SIG had their, you know, they were basically trying to do what SIG did with the 357 SIG, right? Like Glock wanted to come out with their own round that they made, and then they made the gun for it and hope that it would catch on. The problem was it was shit and it didn't catch on, and nobody gives a fuck about 45 Gap. Okay.
Well, they made it for people with smaller hands, and then they didn't realize that the high pressure of the round would be, you know, not good for people with smaller hands. I mean, I don't know. You got
some law enforcement agencies into using that fucking gun too, who don't use it anymore. I don't think any law enforcement agencies still use it, but they did talk some into using it for a while.
It was popular for about like 30 seconds, and then they realized, well, fuck, we could just buy 40 Smith & Wesson and spend half the money that we do on ammo.
Yeah.
And then now everybody's like, well, fuck 40, go to 9. So everybody's doing 9 now.
Yep.
Yeah, can't stop.
By the way, I would just like to say I was always on hashtag Team 9. And I've been saying that for.
Well, you know,
YouTube.
nowadays if you use the right round, you know, the 9mm is, you know, a little bit better than a poodle shooter. But you know,
I've never been Team 40, and all you 40 taint lickers can suck my balls because now your shit's not popular anymore, which I said was gonna fucking happen, and I was fucking right.
Make up your mind. You know, suck your balls or lick taint. I don't know. You're gonna have to make up your mind on that one.
I said fucking years ago, 40 is a fucking fad and will go away and lose popularity. And guess what? Guess what, motherfuckers?
It only took 20 years.
Most of the fucking law enforcement in the country have fucking moved back to 9. And by the way,
I know, because cost of ammo, and it only took a quarter century to get rid of 40. I mean, come on,
dude. Please.
No. I'll say this. No, it's still around.
First of all, 40 did not get popular until the late 2010s. Is when it started.
No. 40 was popular back when it first came out. After the FBI went from 10 mil to 40, so it's closer to 30 years. And they still sell 40 everywhere.
It did not explode in law enforcement until the fucking 2000s. Like there was some federal departments that started using it in the 90s, but it did not catch on outside of that until the 2000s, and then it was dead by 2020.
Okay, so instead of 25, it's 20 years. I'll give that to you. Yeah, but either way, there's still departments out there using 40 Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Even in the job I do,
that is
they want you to use 40 here.
As nothing compared to how long 9mm has been king. And
Well,
by
no,
the way,
9mm's been around just as long as fucking 45 has almost. Fucking, if not longer.
By the way, they didn't just go back to 9 because it was cheaper. They went back to 9 because most people realized, and most law enforcement agencies realized, that with modern ammunition that had been made for fucking 25 years, it was just as good as fucking 40. So what was the fucking point of going to 40?
Yep.
Yeah, it was good as 40 Full Metal Jacket.
In
but
the
I mean,
80s, the shit they were making cops fucking carry 9mm compared to 40, there was a significant difference. Fast forward
either way,
and it doesn't make much of a fucking difference at all. Like the whole point was hard barrier penetration. The whole point was hard barrier penetration, like windshields and things like that. That was the main reason they went to 40. And 9 can do all of that now. Modern 9mm.
Well, now, yeah,
can do everything that fucking the whole reason they moved to 40. 9 fills that gap now.
Matt, I'm off the 40 train. I'm not buying any more 40 ammo. I'm just going through and shooting what I have left. And the reason I carried 40 in California was because I could only have 10 rounds in a magazine because California sucks. So, 10 rounds of bigger bullets is better than 10 rounds of smaller bullets.
Okay,
so,
it's funny you say that because I'm about to bring this up. Which one of y'all are 45 lovers?
Me.
Oh yeah, I love 45.
45.
Well, I'm more the person that kind of shits on the 45. But
that's my favorite.
You go to 45 instead of 40.
45
depends on what I'm shooting now.
The round I grew up shooting. My first handgun I bought when I was 18 was a fucking 1911 and 45 ACP. I fucking love 45.
Anything you do, I can do better.
Like, I know it seemed kind of blasphemous to have a 9 and a 1911, but I think it's more cooler to have it that way.
No, it's not. It's not. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Matt, I've even already got the conversion barrel to put in my Glock 23 to make it a Glock 19.
Oh,
when I finally run out of all my 40 ammo. And I'm almost done.
I still have my 40, and I fucking still buy ammo for it. My nightstand gun is my 40, so I don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, like, for years, people shit on 9mm, and I'm like, you do realize that, like I'm not knocking 40. I'm just saying, like, 9mm is cheaper, and at the time I started doing YouTube, by that point, could do the same things that 40 could do. So it's like, what's the point? Like, why would I go and fucking invest? Like, because I knew people, especially being on YouTube, people with YouTube channels, that fucking their entire pistol collection, what they were invested into 40. And I'm like, why? You're spending more money on ammo for really no benefit and losing 2 rounds in every magazine. So what's the point, right? What that was always my only issue is the 40 defenders defended it so vehemently that I had to push back. I don't really give a shit. I like 40. I own a fucking 40 caliber handgun and I buy ammo for it. Like, I'm not knocking it, but I will push back against people who will talk about 40 like it's the fucking Jesus round. You know what I mean?
It is not the Jesus round. But honestly,
I agree with you there.
If you're smart. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, because it would have gone to a different discussion. You go.
No, I was just gonna say, if you're smart, or you want to think you're smart, whatever, go out and, well, if you can find them anymore, but go get like an old police trade-in Glock in 40, and then buy 357 SIG and 9mm barrels for them, and then you're covered. You got pretty much the gambit right there.
Dude, nowadays, because we've been talking about that recently, nowadays there are so many more options for police trade-ins than I ever remember. Like, they are fucking everywhere. You can get police trade-in Glocks for $350 or less at a bunch of places. Like, they are all over the place because now Glock has fucking inundated the police market since the late 1990s. And so, you know, there were always police trade-ins. There's always been, but now they're just fucking everywhere, whether it's at AIM or PSA or Classic or your local gun shop or whatever. Like, it's really fucking easy to get a hold of a police trade-in Glock really fucking cheap.
And
probably the best deal in handguns right now is a police trade-in Glock.
And they're not just coming out in the full sizes too. They got the 17, 19, and I've even seen police trade-in 26s that detectives carried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You only get if you live in a free state.
Yes. True.
But my whole argument, I was going to go there toward you, man. So you're saying you would pick the 45 over the 9, huh?
Well, I like the 45 more than the 9. I would not pick a 45 over the 9 because of capacity.
Yep.
Because that's pretty
much what I have to say.
I think the capacity, like the difference between now it depends on what you're talking about, but let's say the difference between my 1911, which I love, is one of my favorite guns, and my Glock 17. There's no way in a real situation I'm picking my excuse me, my 1911 over my Glock 17. It's just, I mean, you know, 8+1 versus fucking 19+1. You know what I mean? I got 20 rounds because of my +2 extensions in my Glock. You fucking think I'm gonna pick my fucking 45? I love my 45, but no. Now, if you're talking about my Glock 21, which is 15+1, I might take, you know, I mean, like, depending on what the situation is. Now, if it's like shit hit the fan, no, I'm going to take the 9 because I can carry more fucking ammo. I can carry more ammo. I can carry more magazines. I've got more magazines for 9 than I do 45. So it's still going to be the 9.
No, yeah,
and then
that's pretty much the statement I was going with. I mean, and I feel like, you know, the recoil is more manageable than 45, just by a bit. And you might have to do quick rapid fire. So
recoil doesn't bother me, but no, I mean, just in general, I mean, yeah, I think the 9 makes more sense in more situations than the 45 does by far. I love 45. I grew up shooting 45. It is still my favorite pistol caliber. However, I understand it is not practical in many situations. So, you know, like, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not just fucking blindly like, I like 45, fuck everything else. No, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no. I know. I mean, yeah, that's just a fair argument. I was just going with, you know, but yeah, exactly the same reasons why. But that was my whole arguments too with the 40 people, and I have coworkers that have the 40, so I'm like, oh, whatever.
But you need to get you a shotgun. Shotgun will scare them.
Blast in the air off your porch. That'll scare them away.
Funny thing is, you said I don't think most people don't need a shotgun anymore unless you really try to blow a chunk of something.
Actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's sorry.
It was like, shoot up in the air where it's illegal and where you don't know where the rounds are going to land.
That's what you do. I'm serious, man.
Yeah,
serious.
Come on.
I was just going to say, there's a resurgent in 12 gauge activity. People are starting to realize that 12 gauge is what it's always been. Good at a lot of things. Master of none. But I know several people who used to just think, oh, you'll never need it. No, 12 gauge is awesome. Matt's always been a proponent for the 12 gauge or any kind of shotgun.
I love that video that Dave's talking about. Like, pistols will put holes in people, rifles will put holes through people, shotguns will blast a chunk of shit off somebody, but it's got to be the right round at the right range.
Yeah, Clint Smith. Yeah. No, I mean, I have no problem when you say having a shotgun, but so you're like, oh, it's your first thing you should train people. I'm like, nope. Shotgun with that recoil, I know so many people that didn't like using my shotgun when I gave it to them compared to like giving them a rifle or a handgun or something.
All right. Let's see. Old Man Butler says, but they have cop cooties all over them talking about police training. They do.
Oh, yeah. But, you can always watch the cop cooties off.
And spray it with like disinfectant or turpentine.
Just use like vinegar and baking soda. It'll get rid of all the cop cooties.
But cooties go into the molecular level of the metal, so they're always there.
They're always there. Ugh.
I got so many damn polymer guns now. I'm sick of them. I want to start going and looking into like metal frame guns, getting some
Well,
revolvers
that's why
and some
you're supposed to lick it
VACAs.
off.
You're supposed to lick the cop cooties off?
Yeah. Saliva is the best way to get it off. You know.
I was talking
Okay.
about that in Honda's chat.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I was like yesterday about metal guns.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, guess what time it is? It's time to cut the
To lick
check.
the cooties off the guns.
Yeah, and everybody go lick their fucking cop cooties off your guns.
Yep.
That does it for this evening, and it's time to get out of here. As you guys know, I got to get some fucking sleep because I got to wake up at the ass crack of dawn. I have to wake up before the ass crack of dawn to go to work. So we will see you guys back here on Friday. So we got the toy chat on Friday, and then right into trigger time Friday night after that. So we will hopefully see
An
you
hour earlier.
full hour earlier. Hopefully you'll remember this time, especially since you put it in the title of the video.
Hey, hey, Matt, for old time's sakes, buzz, buzz, pew, pew, motherfuckers.
Yes. I need to clip that soundbite so whenever you're not here, I can just play that. That's what I need to do. But anyway, we're going to get the fuck out of here. We will see you guys next time. As always, deuces, yo, shall not pee in fridge, and hope you guys have a great fucking day. We'll see you on Friday. Enjoy your Thursday, and we're out of here, guys. Take it easy.